I'm a very eat one meal, like one huge meal, and just hope I survive off of that. I'm not just gonna make slop. I'm gonna make something good.
Mashed potatoes on pizza?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start? When did you try that? So you want to make sure that, okay, I'm having pizza. There's mashed potatoes. This is 2 carbs. What can I add on my plate to make it more balanced?
I only have one answer. I can make chicken noodle soup. Like, it makes you sound confident. How confident are you in switching your bread? You're not asking me to like go dig a hill. You're asking me to like change my bread.
Welcome to another episode of the Dietitian Stable. I'm your host, Joy, a registered dietitian, and today I have Gus here with me. Welcome, Gus. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for inviting me, Joy. It's a joy to be here, honestly. Really appreciate it.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a Renaissance man. Right now, I'm a part-time student trying to finish off my social science degree over at Cal State San Marcos. I recently got 2 jobs. My first job is a behavioral technician. I'd be helping autistic children, better work on their life skills and just their, day-to-day skills. And then I also got a really interesting job at a place called Best Buy, not too bad. But besides that, ex-YouTuber, did a couple of in-the-car food reviews, and gamer, I guess.
That's so interesting.
Thank you.
I'm really interested about the part where you're working with autistic kids. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's for basically what I do is I drive to their homes, and normally some doctor or professional smarter than I has a plan to help them out, either work on their cognition, maybe something to do with numbers. And basically what we do is we set up like a plan that is both educational but also fun for the children, whether it's like blocks or teach them through like technology, video games, working on their communication skills, whether it's verbal or, sometimes you'll have the nonverbal ones, or, technology is amazing. You can have a full-blown conversation with an iPad. And, teaching, you can do that, and that's okay.
That's so interesting. And so it's like an occupational therapy type of thing where you help them on a day-to-day basis. Is that it?
It's not. I'm not there the whole time. It's more of just like, I used to do it kind of happened to me when I was a child, where you would visit someone or someone would visit you for 2 to 4 hours, and you kind of just work out the plan and see what works for them. Hopefully it works. Sometimes it doesn't though. It's just trial and error, I guess. And so I'm not like a full-time caregiver. I'm more of just a small plan to help them, better themselves and, hopefully get them more ready for the real world.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And
I was close to dietitian though.
It's fun to be a dietitian. But also it can be, there's a lot of information out there. So like everyone is kind of a nutrition expert. So it's been interesting, especially now with AI and everything. So dealing with that. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't really make them an expert though, AI.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Like you went to school, I would hope. I don't see a diploma around here, but I'd rather trust you than them. Yeah.
And you're also a student, right? Mm-hmm. Part-time student, you said, or you work part-time?
Everything I do is part-time.
Part-time.
I don't commit to anything. I have hopefully 1 more semester over at Cal State. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. The biggest thing is just, don't fail your classes and go and get your diploma so that I can put it up on your wall and show the world.
That's very exciting. You're this close to being done.
This close. Yeah. Hopefully.
And how does a typical day look like for you, juggling being a student and your part-time jobs?
Yeah, I would say I worked pretty well to kind of split off my days. So some days I'm doing full school. Some days I'm doing work at one place or work at the other. But, work is work, so you can always blend those in. When it comes to things like eating and stuff, though, that part I'm not very good at. My biggest issue is I'm a very eat one meal, like one huge meal, and just hope I survive off of that. And sometimes it works. A lot of times I end up lightheaded, and then I need to like go to the gas station or like cook up some top ramen. And yeah, that's not good.
That's not ideal for sure. We don't want you to be lightheaded.
Yeah.
So you've been trying to just have one big meal a day.
Yeah.
And then when do you feel hungry or lightheaded? Do you start feeling that you need to eat?
It's normally, I think it's just, me trying to be a macho man, but it's normally like, I'm just like, oh, I don't feel good. I'll just tough it out. What's the worst that could happen? And before I know, I'm like, no, I'm going to pass out soon. I should really eat like something.
Wow. Yeah, I feel the same way where I don't eat for a while. I get lightheaded and tired. I can't focus anymore, and that's my body telling me, "Hey, you need to eat." And this is your body telling you too, "Hey, I need energy. I need food." So, yeah. And you're usually out and about when that happens.
Yeah. So, I try my best to, get out and do stuff. And, normally with like activity, you're burning up more calories, you're, you're depleting your food storage. And so I already have like, there's very little in the tank already.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, oh no, I'm running on fumes. And that's when it kind of gets tricky. But even sometimes like I'll be at home, like I'll just be absolutely lazy, not doing anything really, just playing video games or something. And even then it's just, I don't know if it's just sheer apathy. Like I just don't want to take the hassle to cook. 'Cause sometimes cooking can like take a while.
True.
And I'll just be like, I'll just ignore it. Maybe food will come my way. Like maybe mom and dad will bring a snack or something.
Hope it appears.
Yeah, just like food's ready. Oh boy. Sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't. Normally it doesn't work. And that's when I'm just like, okay, I'll take the time to cook something. And I like my cooking, but also like I'm already hungry. And like for me, cooking is like, it takes a while. I'm not just going to make slop. I'm going to make something good. Normally it comes in the form of a burger, of course, but it's still food.
Yeah. Well, you try to you kind of have to find a way to cook before you get hungry, because then if you're cooking and you're already tired, lightheaded, cooking's gonna be a chore. It's gonna be tiring. It's gonna be maybe, I don't know. Do you eat something while you're cooking? Maybe just to be able to get yourself through the cooking.
Sometimes I eat. Really, what ends up happening is I'll go, I need energy. There's energy and energy drinks. So I'll down like a Celsius or a Monster. Okay. Do you have like, like that artificial pickup of just like, oh, I have a burst of energy. Now I can take on the world or make a burger. And then I make my burger, but I still don't feel good because now you have like that sugar rush. Yeah. Mixed with starvation.
And this is just giving you that, like you said, this burst of energy, this boost in dopamine, this hormone that gives you that adrenaline rush where you feel like, oh, okay, I feel good. But then as soon as the effects fade away, you just drop in energy and drop in mood.
Yeah, no, it's a really bad crash too.
Yeah, it's a bad crash.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like do you feel like this has been your biggest struggle?
Honestly, yeah, it's the biggest like factor to my day-to-day life. It's just that I don't eat very well, whether it's portionings or even when I do eat, I've made some really like disgusting combinations just out of pure survival. Okay. Like one example, this is a famous one that I've always told people, or just to like either break the ice or just to remind them that I'm a little bit strange. But you're probably gonna yell at me for this one. But I've been a big fan of mashed potatoes on pizza.
Mashed potatoes on pizza?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start? When did you try that?
Good question. Well, originally what happened is I'm no stranger to having fast food in the house. And, sometimes you'll either like have yesterday's fast food, which today's pizza. And I think what ended up happening with that one is, literally the day prior I had a KFC, beautiful 12-piece wings and all that with the sides. One of the sides being mashed potatoes. And I think the next day I was just like, I don't want to cook. I'm very hungry. I'm going to buy a pizza. And, in my family, we're very big on sharing. So a pizza for us is like you get like 2-3 slices. So, everyone else can eat. So I'm just like, I'm a big guy. This isn't enough for me. So I was like, how do I make this more filling? And so I took some mashed potatoes, slapped it on a pizza and, surprisingly filling.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure it's filling.
But everyone tells me it's like, that's just carbs, or you're like a freak for doing that.
I wouldn't say a freak. I mean, everyone has those weird food combinations.
Yeah.
But yes, this is two carbs, so two food groups that are this two items that are from the same food group, so from the carbohydrate group. So then you'll feel full for a while, but then you'll feel very, very hungry because you're missing all the other food groups.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that's a reason why, like, also, like, I have an issue with, like, energy?
What do you mean by an issue with energy?
Well, just like, I feel like when I eat, like, I'm full, but when you're eating, it's not just about being full. It's also like you use the food you eat to give yourself energy to continue your day.
Yes, correct.
Versus when I eat, like, what is the equivalent of slop, like 17th century slop. Yeah, you're right. It's filling and surprisingly delicious, but yeah, like give it like 2 hours and I'm back to like I could use a nap.
Yeah, that's because again you're missing different food groups. So you are having carbs, but what you want to do is make sure that you have a balanced plate. So you want to make sure that, okay, I'm having pizza, there's mashed potatoes, this is 2 carbs, what can I add on my plate to make it more balanced? So you would think of, okay, some vegetables, so chopping vegetables, or you need a protein. There's a big part missing from your meal, which is a protein. So what can you add that's a protein based to make it more filling? So you would think of chicken, you would think of
last week's chicken or yesterday's KFC.
Yeah, so just making sure that you add those food groups to make it a balanced meal. And the thing is, you're trying to get that fix. You are trying to just eat, get it over with, feel full so you can move on with your day and continue doing what you're doing. But you're just giving that quick fix, just like the Celsius or the Monster drink. Yeah. You're just giving that quick fix, but you're not really nourishing your body.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think my relationship with food kind of just soured because, I would say for everyone, we live a very busy life where, you're kind of like down to the wire. You just got to eat, do it quickly. It doesn't matter what you're shoving in your body, just shove something. And so I'm 100% a part of that too, where I'm just like, I need to, come attend a podcast or go work at Best Buy or play with the kiddos. And so I'm just like, I'm just going to shove something down my throat and then hopefully that helps me. And I feel like that's that's still a problem for me. And but I feel like it's not just me though.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people who struggle with that. So when you say just shove something down my throat, is there a reason why you don't want to think about what you're eating, or you don't want to deal with the types of food that you have around in the house?
I mean, I used to find eating to be more like enjoyable, but at this point, it's just kind of a chore. So it becomes a situation of, well, what's the easiest thing to make? And normally ends up being things in like the same food groups. And I mean, the biggest one's going to be carbs.
Yeah.
Just like making bread or like making ramen or squishing up some potatoes is like the easiest thing in the world. So I end up combining those, and then like I look at everything else I'm missing. Maybe I'll throw in some vegetables because they're easy to chop up too. But I mostly just combine the same food groups, or like even if it's not carbs, like I'll do it with like vegetables. But I guess that's also just a salad at the end of the day. Hopefully, I could be wrong on that as well.
There are so many ways to use vegetables other than a salad. Yeah. You can combine them in very different ways. And I feel like you just need to, okay, you really like carbs. And carbs are a big food group that we have to have with every meal. So we don't want to remove that. And you just need to think, what can I add to my meal to make me more full? So that you enjoy it more and not just eat to survive. Yeah. Eat to make it more enjoyable again.
Yeah. No, because I think my biggest thing is just I'm just not food educated. Whether it's like how to eat right or even how to cook right. I've always been very, I'm 26 years old. I feel like I'm at a crossroad where I really should be, but I'm also like part-time student, part-time all this. I'm trying to finish up that part of my life in order to move on to like the next step of my life. But the only thing I've learned in terms of like food and nutrition wise from my previous step of my life is you just got to eat, dude. Like, just cook up some top ramen. You'll see, soldier it out. And I'm at that point where like I want to, learn how to eat better, learn how to like cook better because, I don't have the metabolism. I never did have, I've always been a big guy, but I never did have the metabolism of like, some young buck, some young 20-year-old. And, as we get older, things still slow down. So my unhealthy food choices, they're already bad, but they're just going to get worse. I feel like if I keep going down that road.
And well, thank you for sharing that. And I wonder what happened before so that because you did mention before,
Mm-hmm.
you said,
I would say another thing for me would be I have diabetic parents.
okay.
And so I guess it's a bit of like me kind of being like they've always kind of drilled into my bread to eat to my brain to eat healthy. And I also, one of the biggest wake ups to being like, hey, you need to eat healthy was actually my father. My father's a great guy. He's he's taught me good morals. He's taught me to be the man I am today. He has given me one bad food thing, which is I don't know, you could tell me, but I'm really big on drinking milk twice a day and eating bread twice a day. Wakes you up, puts you to bed.
Yes.
But the biggest scare for me when it came to like food and all that was when he got diabetes. He was living a semi-normal life. When you have diabetes, it's gonna be with you forever. But the biggest scare was he actually lost his leg due to diabetes.
Oh.
And just him not eating healthy and all that. Because he would talk to the doctors and they'd be like, the biggest issue was they would cut more and more of his food. So they'd be like, you can't eat this, or, cut down on this, to the point where it was just like, they were just like, oh, are you eating a lot of tortillas? And my father was like, you're cutting me from tortillas as a Hispanic man?
Yeah.
That's like half my food balance. And so seeing them kind of lose their like food freedom kind of scares me, to be honest. Or like, diabetes runs in the family. I don't want to be another statistic in that sense where, not only is my life being affected, but also my food style. Where like I don't want to be in that situation where the doctor is telling me like, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this, because then there's gonna come a point where I'm pretty much just like, what do I eat? Like ice?
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I feel like the experience that your father had really affected you and the way you the way you view food. So now you're trying not to think about food because you're worried if you think about it, that means you're going to have to remove the stuff you like and stop eating the stuff you like and lose your food freedom. Is that correct? Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, I guess it is a bit of like, I'm not getting any older, but I'm still young, right? I like to think so. So I'm just kind of going like, I'll eat what I can,
Yeah.
but also, the candle that burns twice as bright lasts half as long. I think that's how it goes. And I guess right now I have that mindset where I am that candle. I'll just, I'll live fast while I'm still young, but in reality, I'm not getting any younger, and I really need to like transition into a mindset of sustainability, honestly, or like, you got to eat not just to survive, but, you're at a point where you eat now to, get the energy you need, become a healthier person, lose the love handles.
Well, it's really sad to hear that your experience was seeing your dad losing his food freedom and his pleasure with food and eating at home, just because he has diabetes. And when you have diabetes, you don't have to stop everything. You just need to make a few changes and even add some things to your meals, add fiber, add protein, so adding and not actually removing foods. And the fact that he felt that he had to remove stuff, and maybe it's stuck in your head where you're like, this is gonna go away, and so maybe I don't want to deal with it right now.
Yeah, because I guess it's one of those things where like, when someone tells you news, it's more impactful to hear the negative news. So, when I'm like, hey, Pops, what did the doctor tell you? He's not going to be like, oh boy, they told me to add fiber into my diet.
Yeah.
He's going to tell me the bad news. Where it's just like, I can't eat this. Yeah.
I can't have this. I can't have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these are the parts that affect the person, the negative parts, like you said. So how do you feel like you want to bring mindfulness back into your life, into your food, so that you're more aware of what you're eating, and try to make those changes?
Yeah. I guess for me, it's a big thing would be understanding what groups of food I am currently eating. Because, going back to mashed potatoes and a pizza, I don't see carbs on top of carbs. I see mashed potatoes on top of pizza.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's more of looking at, I would say the biggest thing I need to do is I need to look at my food more scientifically and be like, chicken is protein, vegetables are vegetables. I don't know what they are.
Yes.
These are carbs. I know what those are. And being able to be like, okay, this is a balanced plate. This is a plate that I could realistically, eat, and it's got everything the USDA wants me to eat. It's got the full pyramid. I was gonna say, and I guess another thing is also like my portioning, because a big thing for me is when I have a plate, I fill the whole plate, like all the corners are full. But I have two problems with that, and that's I eat the whole thing, and then going back to my one huge meal a day. It's kind of a slog to eat a whole meal, like a whole giant plate. And so I go, oh, this is horrible. This is a bad idea. But at least I have energy. I don't. I'm lying. I'm lying to myself. Oh, and the other thing is I either go, oh, this is too much. And then I'm just wasting food, and I feel bad for doing that.
Well, you want to find the balance, right? Like, if you're eating once a day, of course, your plate is going to be bigger. Of course, you're going to eat more. Of course, you're going to eat past fullness because you're just eating that one meal a day, But if you try to eat more frequently or at more regular times, that'll you won't need the big plate anymore. You may eat still bigger portions, but it'll be scattered throughout the day. So you'll have your breakfast, and then you'll have your lunch, and then your dinner, maybe a snack or two in between, and that's gonna keep giving your body energy throughout the day to be able to study, to be able to work with kids, to be able to drive and do everything that you like, even video games, to be able to focus.
Yeah. I could get like better gamer vision,
Yes.
eat more carrots, see farther. But I guess another thing for me with like eating throughout the day is just like, I guess it's just a mental thing, honestly, but I feel like I don't have the time. It's a lot easier to just put everything on one meal. You dedicate, X amount of time for that, versus I feel like when you're kind of spreading everything out, it's like, well, you got to meal prep here, make something here, make something here, make something here. I'm just like, I could spend that time, studying or playing video games.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an effort that you're going to put in. But then what you're doing right now, is it working for you, the one meal a day? Do you feel like it's working for you?
In my head, yes. Reality, no, not at all. I'm still tired. I'm still like, I still get lightheaded whenever I'm doing like even just playing D&D, like even just like throwing dice. I'm still like, whoa, I threw it a little too far. I need to like eat a chocolate bar or something. And so no, it's not working at all. It's just, I like to think the placebo effect's working, and that I can tough it out, but I really can't. Maybe I could back when I was younger, but nowadays, no, not at all.
Well, for sure, it's not going to be, we cannot go from I'm having one meal a day to I'm having 3 meals and snacks, and I'm meal prepping, and I'm getting all those food groups in my plate. So the best way to go about it is just to do one small change. So adding another meal a day, and then seeing how that goes, how you're feeling, how your energy levels are, and then, doing small changes as you go. That's how you're going to get to a sustainable change. Because if you change everything all at once, it'll work fine the first week or two, but then you're going to get tired, you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're going to stop.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
You mentioned meal prepping. That's another thing like I really need to do, because I don't do that. I'm more of like an in the moment because I view the idea of meal prepping. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I see meal prepping is you make a bunch of food and then you shove it in the fridge and you heat it up in the microwave. I always view that as like, like I'll just make something fresh now. But then it goes back to the idea of, wait a second, I don't have any time to do that.
It does save time on the long run, and you can even put some in the freezer. You can pre-cut some vegetables for the next day if you know what you're going to prep the next day. So it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm meal prepping for the whole week and I have all these Tupperwares in my fridge ready to go, and then it takes you half a day to cook all those meals. It can be just meal prepping for the next 2 days or for the next day at first, you know. But I feel like the first step would be really going back to a balanced plate, going back to those food groups that you talked about, and just getting more familiar with those food groups and what foods they contain before we start meal prepping.
Yeah, no, totally. It's, you know, you can't, you got to walk before you can run. And I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Where, like, if I'm just meal prepping and I'm just shoving a bunch of random stuff into like a Tupperware container, then I've learned nothing. And the only thing I've done is shove a bunch of random food into a Tupperware container. So I 100% agree with that. Like, you need to learn what you're eating, honestly. And it's not just me. I feel like it's a lot of people, you know. Like, I feel like that's a story from my dad and to an extent, where like before he had all those restrictions, you know, his plate was his throne. Put whatever you want on there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's also kind of what I learned. I mean, I still keep some things from my father, where like the one thing we share, me and him, is you know, we like soccer, but also it's been a ritual for me and him as well, where it's just like in the morning, you know, you get yourself a nice cup of milk and you know, like a concha or a bolillo, you know, something sweet from a Hispanic bakery.
Yeah.
And that's how we wake up. And then same thing at nighttime too, where it's just like, you know, what's gonna put you to bed? A cup of milk, but make it warm, you know. And it still works, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Is it whole milk, skimmed?
2% for us.
2%.
We're a 2% family.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Too much. Too rich.
And how does when we say balanced plate, what does a balanced plate look like for you?
A balanced plate for me, I would say, is a plate where every single like piece of the food pyramid or the food group is met, where you have your protein, you have like your carbs, you have, you know, everything you need that a dietitian such as yourself would consider to be a healthy plate. You know, you're not just eating too much of everything. Either both like you're eating too much carbs or that's way too much like beans or something. Or just like you need to cut down on the plate. That's what I would say a balanced meal is.
Yeah, no, you're right. And also you kind of have to visualize it. I'm going to give you like a very rough idea of what a balanced plate is. It's the My Plate method. So half of your plate is filled with vegetables, different types of vegetables. And then a quarter would be your protein, meat, chicken, fish, eggs. And then a quarter would be your carbs, pasta, rice, mashed potatoes, tortillas. And then that would be your healthy balanced plate. And then you can have a side of fruit or a cup of milk.
Okay, so you don't ever want to do like where it's just like everything's equal. That's not good.
You mean everything is in equal amounts?
Yeah, like your proteins is the equal amount as your carbs and all that. That's not good.
Well, technically they are because it's a quarter protein, a quarter carbs. So kind of the equal, yeah. And then focusing also on the vegetables to get the fiber, the vitamins and minerals. And it keeps you full longer as well.
True.
Yeah. And you don't want to miss your healthy fats.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I love my healthy fats. It's my favorite part of the meal.
So you can add avocados, you can add nuts and seeds, drizzle olive oil on your vegetables or your salad if it's a salad.
To be fair, I love avocado. So that's kind of been my go-to personally. Especially because, you know, Southern California, kind of thing, right next to the border, you know, you can get your avocados from Mexico.
The best. So now that we talked about all these things, is there a specific goal or a small goal that you want to work on, or do you feel like you want to work on right now?
There is. It's a goal that I've always kind of had, but I've always put to the side, and it's combining healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle to, become a healthier person. Getting rid of that need to be sleepy, but also like superficially, I'm kind of tired of being chubby. I've been a big guy pretty much all my life. There was only one time where I would say I was like truly like skinny to average, and that was I ended up in Mexico for the whole summer. And there the biggest thing is we live in like my family comes from a small rural village north of Mexico City. No fast food as far as the eye can see. Like McDonald's, 20 miles away. Like you're not getting there at all.
So all is home cooked meals.
Always home cooked meals.
Love that.
Yeah. They eat well, they grow their own food, and they know how to balance out fairly well. So that's the only time I would say I was skinny.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The only problem was that was elementary school. After that, you come back to America, you go, I want McDonald's or like, oh, look, a pizza. And I just kind of plumped right back up. And I've always kind of like, to be fair, ever since high school, this has been roughly around my body shape, gain or lose a few pounds. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with my body being like this, but also, it sucks being a big guy where like 2XL, 3XL. Some places don't even have 2XL. So I want the ability to like, go shopping, see a shirt I like and be like, I can wear that versus being like, that's not going to fit.
Yeah.
So I would say that's my goal.
I get that. And to get to your goal, you need sustainable change. You need to change the way that you view food, the way that you eat every single day, and make those changes small and achievable. And then on the long run, the more you work on it, and then the more you can get to that goal.
Yeah. I really hope this sticks too, because I also have a habit of, you go to like a medical professional, and then you hit them with, interesting, I will do that, of course. But then you go home and you just go back to the same routine. But, I think in the environment we're in, and this being a podcast, and you not like scaring me with like, you need to do this or you're going to die or lose a leg. I think that helps a lot.
Well, and also following up with your dietitian, asking your primary physician, hey, can I see a dietitian as part of my insurance? Is this covered? Because you need to advocate for yourself. You need to ask to see, does my insurance cover the dietitian? So this is an easy ask, and then following up with your dietitian on a monthly basis or regular basis, depending on what you decide with them, that would help you continue on that path, and then not just say, oh great, that's interesting, and then just go home and just go back to your normal routine, so that you can really change things.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't even talk to their dietitian. Like before you, I don't even think I ever did talk to anyone. It would mostly just be like, go over to like get your checkup done, and then the doctor tells you got really high blood pressure, or like this is wrong with you. You go, oh, that's scary. You leave, and then you just don't want to come back. You don't want to ask further questions. It's like, well, how do I fix that? Because you're too busy focusing on like, or at least me, I'm too busy focusing on the fact that I'm just like, I just got told all this bad news of like how it's just like, you're really you're really close to pre-diabetic. You should not do that. I'm not gonna go like, how do I fix that? How do I fix? I don't tell the doctor how to fix it. I go, interesting, and then I get out. I go, I don't want to be here. You're yelling at me.
Well, I'm sorry you had that, but you just try to ask for that. And in the meantime, what do you think if we try to cook 1 or 2 meals per week? Let's say not per day, but just adding that little extra thing in your daily routine, where we can try to prep a balanced meal a week.
Like a gradual increase?
Gradual increase. Going slowly.
I can do that. It's like the idea of like the frog where like you stick them in water and then you slowly boil up the heat. I could do that. I'll be the frog.
And is there something specific that you feel like you want to try and cook, or something that's been on your list that you've been wanting to try?
Actually, yeah. So, I'm not getting any younger, but also my parents aren't getting any younger. And one of the fears I have is I really love my mom's cooking, and I don't want to lose that. So one of the things I've been doing is I've been asking her, like, hey, how do I cook, like, how do I do like rice the way you do it, or like chicken broccoli the way you do it? The one thing I'm really trying to get down is she makes really good chicken noodle soup. Like that is my ever since I was a child, that has been my favorite thing. But
Okay.
I just can't get it down the way she does. I don't know if you ever had that issue where, like, you really like your mom's cooking or your dad's cooking, and you can mimic it, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. They add love. They add the special ingredients.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know their secret.
I'm like busy watching a podcast, and I'm downing a monster, and I'm just like, what's the recipe? What's the recipe? Meanwhile, my mom, it's probably passed down from generation to generation. She remembers it because she wasn't distracted with like 911 while she's cooking. So that's probably why.
Well, you should take personal cooking classes from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. Then you can get all the cooking, and you can see her in the kitchen, and you can learn from her, and not just take the recipe and write the recipe down.
It's a double-edged sword, though. I don't know.
Why so?
Because it's a Hispanic mother.
Oh.
And so they like judge you if you mess it up, and
she's gonna be looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. No andas haciendo bueno. Mama. I'm just like, that's just how Mexican families are. I feel like, in my opinion, like, they want it done right, but also their instructions are so unclear. Partly because it's in Spanish, and I'm like, I cut my teeth in high school Spanish too. I don't even know the days of the week, to be honest. I barely know vosotros.
Well, at least you can try the chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
Have you tried that before?
Of course. It's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
But, it's chicken noodle soup. Have you ever had bad chicken noodle soup?
No.
I don't think I have either. It's normally like fairly solid. Unless it's like on fire. That's the only way you can have bad chicken noodle soup.
And try to prep it, let's say, when you know that tomorrow you have a busy day, or the next day you have a busy day. Try to prep it the night before or the day before, whenever you have time. Just that it's ready for you, and you're not lightheaded to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
It's ready. You can just heat it up and have chicken noodle soup.
Hopefully I can. That's another thing for me. It's just like, I eat in my car a lot, mostly like at work. Like, I used to be a delivery driver, so I'm used to like eating in my car. So I don't use the microwave at work when I really should be. I could always bring my own food, but I'm always just like, I'll just make like a sandwich and put it in my car and hide from the world, because that's what I'm used to.
Why would you hide?
Habit, I guess. My first work environment, we had a break room that was so incredibly filled with ants.
Oh.
That one time they gave me a popsicle, and it had like dead ants on it.
Okay, I was expecting anything except that.
You expected me to like be like, well, my father one time told me to eat in the car, and I got used to that. No, yeah, that was an interesting work environment. That's the same work environment I actually got fired for eating rice and beans, surprisingly enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So you just eat outside or in the car instead of in your workplace.
Yeah, all the tools are there to like heat up food and do all that, but I don't take advantage of that. So I'm more likely to either go get fast food or bring something that's doesn't perish very easily. Normally a sandwich, and to toot my own horn, I feel like my sandwiches are fine. Mm-hmm. Like it's just white bread, turkey, lettuce, avocado, and like a bit of cheese.
Okay.
I feel like that's pretty balanced, right?
And yes, and how can you make it more balanced?
Cut it in triangles.
Or maybe switching from the white bread to whole wheat bread.
Yes, sure. I just don't like whole wheat.
You don't like the taste?
I don't like the taste.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah. Have you ever had the whole wheat with like the seeds on the crust? That's the one my parents grew up with, and they would like try to push onto me, and I would always be like, "Yeah, can I get like my Wonder Bread?"
Well, if you try it again, see if you like it, or maybe a different brand of whole wheat. But if you have whole wheat bread, it has more fiber, it'll be more filling, and it'll help with your blood sugar control. It won't raise your blood sugar that much. So these are like small switches you can make to make it more balanced and add that fiber. So it'll keep you full longer, and it'll keep your blood sugars, not skyrocketing.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from. And I do agree that it's not invasive. The only thing with me is just like, I'm a man of habit.
Yeah.
So will I try doing the whole wheat? Yeah, I'll try. Will I complain that it's not my favorite Wonder Bread? Yeah, I'll complain. And then the biggest thing is just, it becomes a toss-up of what wins, my need to be healthy or my love for Wonder Bread. Hopefully the whole wheat wins. I feel like I've matured enough where I'm just like, I understand it's just like, you need to make sacrifices.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I don't want to call them sacrifices, because again, you're putting yourself in this position where you're failing again because you're sacrificing.
Yeah.
So that's what, and tastes change with time. So I don't know how long you've tried whole wheat bread again, but our taste buds evolve with time as we grow. There are a lot of things that you used to like that you don't like anymore, or you didn't like, and now you tried it again and you like it. So maybe trying whole wheat bread, or maybe trying a different type of bread, but that has more fiber, and just trying to see what works best. Because sometimes it's the brand, sometimes it's just an acquired taste,
Yeah.
But just trying different things and see what works best for you. But we don't want you to eat something you don't like. That's not the point.
True. I'm sure there is like a brand somewhere out there that I go, this is perfect. And I do agree with the whole like maturing palate. Fun fact, I used to not like pickles.
Yeah.
I used to really like dislike pickles until Chick-fil-A actually is the one that won me over.
You tried their pickles and
It like fell out of the burger and I was like, ugh. And then I was like, yeah, free pickle. I guess I'll give it a taste. And then I was like, this is delicious. And ever since then, I really like pickles.
yeah.
So I do agree with the whole thing
Yeah.
of like acquiring a taste. I've never lost a taste though. Have you ever like lost a taste for something?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I know that there's a lot of things I didn't like that now I like. But not something that not the opposite.
Yeah. People probably have. I think I have before, but for me it's with like, let's go back to my partying days. This is liquor for me, where like I used to like liquor, and I got tired of having like waking up and being like, this is horrible, to the point where like I've kind of lost the taste for liquor. I go, ugh, give me 2 Coronas please instead. I'll call it that. That's the only thing I can think of where like someone loses a taste for something.
Yeah, or maybe because you just had it for so long, so you got bored of it. So maybe.
Oh, I've heard that before. Yeah. Or, like people like eat carrots, or they'll eat too much of something. I heard people eat like watermelon. They eat so much watermelon they throw up.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they hate watermelon. I can't.
Yeah, or
do
if
that.
you have food poisoning from a specific food that you used to love, and then you don't want to eat that food again.
You just reminded me of a childhood story where
Of food poisoning?
this back in Mexico, surprisingly, there was one fast food place that was nearby. There was some random Chinese place, and I got some chicken chow mein, and I proceeded to throw up all night. I didn't think that was possible, like all night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I didn't eat chow mein for like, I didn't eat Chinese food in general for like 4 years.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's a good example of food poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've even powered through like milk. Have you ever had like, I remember one time my fridge broke and the only thing that went off was the milk. And so for, I want to say like a week, because no one believed me that the fridge was broken, but I knew because the milk was always off. And I was like, this is like, I don't think milk is tangy. And so I'd be eating tangy milk and I'm like, this fridge is broken. And no one will believe me until eventually like the milk soured just enough for like, I think my mom was like, I think the fridge is broken. I was like,
Oh no.
okay. That threw me off milk for a bit, but
Yeah.
what can I say? I'm a milk boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong bones.
So let's go back to the small step that we want to work on. Do you feel like, how confident are you to try to do chicken chicken noodle soup and try to switch from your white bread to a whole wheat bread.
The fact that when you say it, just like how confident are you in making chicken noodle soup? You know, I only have one answer. I can make chicken noodle soup. Like, it makes you sound confident. How confident are you in switching your bread? You know, you're not asking me to like go dig a hill. You're asking me to like change my bread.
And I'm not asking you not to eat bread.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
we're not cutting out bread.
Yeah. I don't want to eat a sandwich without bread. What is a sandwich without bread? A salad? A salad? Nah. So I can make those switches. Those switches are feasible.
Okay.
You're not asking me to do much.
That's good.
The biggest thing is like I said, it's consistency.
Again, for consistency, it's just doing one small thing and then keep doing it until it becomes part of your habit, until you stop thinking about it and it's part of your daily life. And then you can add another small thing. And that's how you can get to sustainable change. If you change everything all at once, it's going to be overwhelming and you won't be able to do it on like for years and sustainably.
Yeah. So you would say more like do one small change and then keep going until like it becomes routine.
Yes.
And then at that point, change something else.
Yes.
Yeah. When you say like that, it's easy. I can do it.
You can do it. I'm sure you can.
Thank you. I hope I can. I don't want to prove you wrong. I feel really bad.
No, I'm sure you can. Well, thank you so much, Gus, for sitting with me today.
Yeah, no, this once again was a joy to be here.
Thank you. For our audience, you can find the video for this and every episode on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you, and we'll catch you at the next episode.